there, I just want to walk you through the Debt Snowball spreadsheet so you can see how all the different features work and can use it to its utmost capacity. So you will receive two versions of the Debt Snowball spreadsheet. You'll get the pink and purple version and also the blue and green version. They're set up exactly the same, so you can just choose the one that you like best and go with that one. One heads up that I do want to give you is that you will only want to type in the white cells that are within these tables that I have set up for you here. The reason for that is that sometimes in this white space surrounding the cells or in a cell that is shaded, like this one down here, I have formulas in there. And if you accidentally mess up one of those formulas, it will make the spreadsheet not work correctly. So stick to the white cells that are within the tables. One thing that you can change is the currency. So if you are not using the US dollar, you can simply come in here. And if you're using, for example, the euro, put that in instead, and you can see how that changed throughout the entire spreadsheet. I am using the US dollar, so I'm going to go back and change it. And again, you can see how it changed it in the rest of the spreadsheet as well. You can go up here to choose your start date. If you double click, a little counter will pop out and you can choose the date you want to start. You can also just type the date in there and it will create it for you. Then you will need the crux of the spreadsheet, your debt information. So for each debt that you have, you'll want to put in the debt name, its balance, the minimum payment, and the interest amount. So give me a second. I'm going to insert some debts here and then we'll come back and take a look. Okay, so we have all the information entered in here for all four of our debts. It doesn't matter which order you list them on here. The debt payoff schedule is going to put them in the correct order for you. So just list them out in any order you would like. And then we can see how the debt payoff schedule does that on the next page. Before we get over there though, I want to point out two more things. It will automatically add up your minimum payment for you. So that's $645.89 here. And then you get to decide if how much extra money you are going to put toward your debt on top of the minimum payment per month. So this is money that you're pretty confident that you're going to be able to put towards your debt each and every month. So I'm going to put $200 here. If you can only do $100 or $50, or if you're not quite sure that you're going to be able to put any extra toward your minimum, that's fine too. Just enter that in this box right here in this cell. Okay, so that's all you need to do on this setup page. And then we're going to head over to the second tab, the debt payoff schedule. And you can see it has automatically created a debt payment plan for you right here. Now, you do have a choice here of methods that you want to use to pay off your debt. If you've never heard of them before, the Debt Snowball method orders your debt in order of the smallest balance and then moves up and has you pay your larger balances last. So it has you pay off and be most aggressive with the smallest debt with the smallest balance, and then the second smallest, and then the third smallest, and then the highest balance goes last. Okay, so that is one way you could do it. The other payoff method you have the option of choosing here is the Debt Avalanche method. The Debt Avalanche method is looking at these interest rates here. It is going to have you pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first, and then go to the second highest interest rate, and then the third highest interest rate, and so forth. So if you had, for example, if you happen to have a loan that was a 0 interest rate, that would be at the very end. Okay, so those are two different methods of paying down your debt. Both of them work. There are pros and cons to both of them. If you would like to read more about the pros and cons, I have a link right here to a blog post that explains them. The nice thing is if you click on this and you can switch back and forth between the snowball and the avalanche method, and you can kind of see, okay, when are my payoff dates going to be with each one? Is there one that makes me pay off my debt faster than the other? You can weigh all of those things into account. You can just flip back and forth pretty easily right there. So that's kind of a nice perk. Something that happens with both of these methods, whether you choose the Debt Snowball method or the Debt Avalanche method, is that once you finish paying off your first debt, the debt that you're being most aggressive toward, all of the money that used to go toward this first debt, the minimum payment plus any extra payment that you are making per month, is then going to roll over and start to pay off the second debt. That's why this number changes here. So, and this is a great way to start paying down your debts even faster, because now not only do you have, this minimum payment going toward it, but you have all of the money that was going toward the first debt rolled over here. Okay, when you finish paying off that second debt, all of that money is going to roll over and start to pay down the third debt, which is going to help you pay off your debt faster and faster as you go along. So if you weren't quite sure, why do these numbers change all of a sudden? That's why. It's because it's taking this money that you were putting toward debt anyway, since you don't need it for this first one, it's going to roll it into the following debts for you. Okay, so there is a mechanism. If let's say you got a bonus at work and you want to put extra money towards your debt this month on top of that minimum monthly payment and the additional monthly payment. So right now you're putting $845.89. Let's say you got a $500 bonus at work and you want to put that towards your debt as well. You can do that in this column here. This is our column that's going to kind of help us make adjustments month to month. So I'm going to put my $500 bonus there. And you can see when I did that, it made my payment for that month, rather than the $302 that it was before, it took it up to $802. So that lets me pay down that debt even faster. Now, let's say the opposite is also true. Let's say this month things are tight and you committed to paying that $845.89, but you think you can only manage $745.89 this month. So I'm going to subtract. If I do minus $100 here, the same thing happens. It makes the adjustment for me. So instead of $302, now it's giving me $202, and can more accurately reflect the actual money that I'm putting toward my debt. Okay, so if you need to use this column month by month to either add more or subtract some and pay less towards your debt, you can definitely do that. It will put the money toward the debt that you are currently working on paying down first, and then move down the line toward the other ones. Okay, I love to check things off a list. It makes us feel accomplished. It's kind of nice to see things get crossed off. So I put these check boxes in here. If you like to check things off a list too, as soon as you make your payment for the month, you can check them off. But that's not absolutely necessary. If you prefer not to do that, it's going to assume that you're making these minimum payments, whether you check them off or not. It's just kind of a nice little satisfying thing to be able to check them off if you want to. So other than that, you don't really need to touch much on this page. It is going to, do all of the calculations and things for you. I will say that as you go on, sometimes it's you want to see your payment a little more closely for each month. As you can see, as I'm scrolling over, this bar is coming with me so that these months stick right by the numbers and you can easily see what month you're working on. And that can go all the way down to the end there. This spreadsheet can track up to 30 debts. So it will travel along with you all the way down to the 30th debt if you need to use it, go that far. Okay, so we have one more tab. This is our debt payoff dashboard. You don't actually need to alter anything on this dashboard. It will do all of the work for you, but it's just kind of a nice visual representation of how you're doing paying off your debts. So this first chart here is going to show you the progress that you're making on each debt. As you pay more and more, this dark purple color will go down and this lighter purple color will take its place. So for example, if I go to the setup tab and I go to my start date and I go back further and say I started in July of 2023 and then come back over here, you can see how much more progress I have made on each of these debts when I change that date there. Another thing that I want to point out, if you are setting this up for the first time and you are setting your start date for next month, if your start date is in the future, then when you go to the debt payoff dashboard, you might see something like this. And you're thinking, oh no, I broke it. Something's wrong. You didn't break it. All this is telling me is that your start date is in the future. The spreadsheet knows what date it is, so it doesn't have any data to pull from that yet. That's fine. You can leave it like this. And as soon as that start date rolls around, so I put July 1st, as soon as July 1st rolls around, this will start to automatically populate for me. Okay. So you can see if we go back to this setup, and if I just go back and I choose a date that's not in the future, my charts are back again. So you didn't break it. It just means you chose a start date that was in the future. And when that future start date arrives, then your charts here will pop back up. So don't worry if you're seeing those errors there. Okay, so we have the progress for each debt individually. We have the total payoff progress for all your debts combined. You can see kind of a nice debt payoff duration, the picture of, when you're starting, which is right here. And then by January 2028, you're going to be almost finished, which would be a great feeling. It's going to tell you how many months you have until your debts are paid off. And it's going to give you that date where you will make your last payment and become debt free. So that is kind of exciting and something to shoot for here. So I hope this debt snowball and avalanche tracker helps give you a nice visual picture of how you can pay down your debt and how becoming debt free can be a reality for you and your household. So thank you so much for checking out the Debt Snowball Spreadsheet, and have a great day.